there, team. Amanda here. Let's talk about team engagement. So you've got a team, they're great at what they do, but they're just not feeling it. Let's talk about how you can improve that today. No gimmicks, just results. Let's talk about a better way to improve our team engagement. And I know you've probably heard it all before, team. Give me 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and I'll show you exactly how we can turn things around. To help with context, it helps to talk about where we go wrong. Most commonly, and I see this all the time, we think we can throw perks at the problem. We're like, hey, I've got free snacks, I've got flexible hours, there's a ping pong table. So why aren't people just ecstatic to come to work every single day? It's that approach that we're just trying anything and we're hoping that something sticks. So why doesn't that work? Because they're kind of cool things to have in the workplace, right? So why doesn't it work? Perks and surface level fixes do not build connection and they don't build purpose. Sure, they're nice to have, like I was saying, but when our team members feel disconnected, when they don't feel valued, and they've got no sense of how their work matters, there's no amount of pizza or ping pong that can solve those challenges. Engaged teams need more than swag, baby. They need real human connection and purpose. So what is the solution? Glad you asked. We need a purpose-driven, people-centric culture. Now, don't freak out because I've said the word culture. I know it's like grabbing onto spoke, right? Purpose-driven, people-centric culture. It won't happen overnight, but we can make it happen. A culture where team members feel valued, connected, and heard, where their work matters and it's aligned to our mission, and the leaders truly care about the people around them and their growth and well-being. So how do we make it happen? Let's talk about some steps that you can take. And this is one of those things, I said it just before, it won't happen overnight. It's what the 1% shifts over a day, a week, a month that all will stack the deck in your favor. So let's share my whiteboard here. Let's get this up and running. All right. So how do we make it happen? The first thing we need to do, priority 1, is to set the vision, align the team. Okay? Set the vision, align the team. And what do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? Amanda, I've got visions and missions and I've got my core values. I've got all that in place. Don't assume that people get the why of why we do things. As leaders, we need to communicate a clear, crisp vision that shows how every single person's work ties into that bigger mission. We need to be super clear on why you're packing that box in that particular way with that particular bag of jelly beans that you're putting in there, whatever it is. We need to be super clear on how that ties back to the bigger and greater good of why we do what we do and our North Star. Second one, invest in your leaders. If you've seen my framework, if you like, that I used before, you will know leadership is the basis of greatness in any organization. If we have great leaders, we'll have great customer experience and employee experience. But if we're not getting that right, if we're having a poor leadership experience for our leaders and from our leaders, just doesn't work. We don't have the foundation there, okay? So we need to create leaders who are focused on empowering their people, provide support, listen to concerns, and our team members from those leaders need to feel like their opinions and their ideas actually matter. And how do we do that? That comes from investing in our leaders, not just throwing people into a position and hoping for the best, right? And now the third one is real comms, okay? Real communication. What do I mean by that? Regular check-ins, not just performance reviews. You should be checking in with your people as often as needed and as often as they want. You will have team members that like those extra touch points, and you'll have those ones that like to be left alone. Find out what their expectations are, what their needs are. This is more about than just KPIs, team. If you want to have real conversations with your team about challenges, about wins, where the company's headed, and take an interest in those people in the way that those people want you to take an interest in them. Now, the fourth one, opportunities to grow. So growth opportunities, so important. This is one of the number one things that people are looking for when they go searching for a new job. Invest in your people. Let them develop new skills, take on new challenges, and feel like they're growing along with the company. There's an old saying, we grow or we die. When people feel stagnant in an organization, they'll start looking elsewhere, right? Number 5, the fifth one I want to leave you with today is celebrating. Celebration is so important. And it's one of the things when I'm out and I'm doing training and I'm doing consulting with organizations, it's just one of the things that is so easily overlooked. And I'll share a win with you shortly. But when it comes to recognizing your people and celebrating the wins, team, it is so important that your people feel recognized through small victories and big ones. Make sure that people feel recognized and appreciated, and they're much more likely to stay engaged. Now, here's an example from my history. This would have been a good 12 months ago. This is not a news story, but it's a good news story. So I was out on site with a client, and we were doing a team synergy session and communications that day. Now, there was so much opportunity. Small, I think they had about 60 staff, small in the textiles industry, amazing humans, amazing teams, so dedicated to what they were doing. And one of the biggest things was these people were putting in so much overtime, and they were really passionate about what they were doing and what they were creating, but they weren't seeing the end result. So they were creating outfits that were going out that people were wearing in competition, right? And they weren't seeing, if they've busted their gut over, 3 weeks to get something out to go to a competition, they weren't seeing the results of that competition. So, and the leadership team were telling me, they did really amazing work on these outfits, and these outfits, they came first in a national competition. And I'm like, why aren't we announcing that to everybody? So what we actually did as an initiative was there were electronic billboards that they installed throughout the premises, and they started talking about small wins, big wins, from what our clients have achieved because of the hard work we've done, to one of our team members just bought their first new car, to we've got a new doggy family member in the team. So whatever people wanted to share in terms of wins, morale improved out of sight. So we surveyed them at the beginning, and we discovered that, morale was not great. 6 months later, morale had improved out of sight, and the positive sentiment was absolutely amazing. And it's just one of my favorite stories, because it's such a simple tweak, talking about what we're already doing so fantastically well and just sharing that with the greater organization. Game changer. It makes people feel like all of the hours and all of the time that they put in actually matters, which is so, so important. So team, the moral of my story today, here's the deal. Let's stop relying on those quick fixes and start actually building a culture that is built to engage your people. And if you're ready to take that first step, I've created a free guide to help you kickstart that transformation right now. Remember, it won't happen overnight. It absolutely will happen 1% each time. So hit me with the words culture in the comments below, and I will make sure we get you a copy. Stay awesome until I see you next time, and have fun. See ya.